In 1962, former South African President Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. Many distinctly remember him dying under the harsh conditions in the 1980s, remembering news reports and even eulogies and speeches from his loved ones. However, he didn't die in prison, but rather he was released in 1990 and died in 2013. These strange occurrences coined the term the Mandela Effect, where large amounts of people remember something wrong. For example, do you remember the cartoon and book series for kids about a family of bears? How do you spell their name? Was it the Berenstain Bears or the Berenstain Bears? Many remember it as being spelled with an E, but it was actually spelled with an A. How about another bear? What is his name? It's Smokey the Bear, right? Well, mostly, except there was never a "the" in his name. It's just Smokey Bear. This one tripped me up too. Think back to the movie Forrest Gump. What was his line about life and chocolates? If you said, "Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates," you're remembering it the way most do, but you're wrong. He said, "Mama always said life was like a box of chocolates." Oh, and speaking of movies, do you remember when Sinbad played the role of a genie in the movie Shazam? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but that movie never existed and he never played a genie. Are you starting to question reality yet? Because I sure am. Which version of the Fruit of the Loom logo is correct? Did you guess the one with the cornucopia? Because that's wrong. It's never even had one. Where did you even get that from? Answer me this. What color was Mr. Monopoly's monocle? Was it black or was it yellow? If you answered yellow, move back one space, but if you answered black, you're still wrong. He never had one in the first place. Mirror, mirror on the wall, is this quote correct at all? No, because it's magic mirror. And if these misrememberings fill you with terror, don't look into the famous quote from Darth Vader. "Luke, I am your father," we remember him saying, but to learn it was "No, I am your father" leaves many dismaying. Reality is questioned even more when you discover serious events were not as you remembered before. 1989 Tiananmen Square. A man stopping the tanks gave the world a scare. Many remember him being crushed to death beneath a tire. But though we don't know now his fate, he survived what then transpired. With all of this, can any of us trust our own memory when it seems so intent on treachery? It can't be coincidental with this consistency. The explanation must be conspiracy. We all know the theory of the multiverse. We must have shifted from another universe. One where all of these things were true before it felt as though the world were lying to you. Okay, stop. Please take a deep breath with me. Before jumping to conspiracy theories, let's look at why this happens. Human memory is flawed and influenceable, but the thing is, it's supposed to be like that. This phenomenon actually provides valuable insight into how human memory works. No one can remember every detail of every day. That's just unrealistic and would take up too much brain power. So we end up remembering the important parts, and then through context and imagination, our brains make up the rest of the details. Like this, our brains are able to make the most efficient use of energy with recalling things while remembering what's important. Though this does mean that there's a lot of room for error, and is why eyewitnesses are incredibly unreliable. Prompting eyewitnesses to recall more details can actually result in forming new false memories. For example, a witness may be asked, "What color hat was the bank robber wearing?" Then respond, "Red? No, wait, black. It was definitely black." And then insist they vividly remember the black hat, when the robber actually wore no hat at all. Does this trick sound familiar? I used it while asking about Mr. Monopoly's appearance to make it more likely that you would remember him differently. But the thing is, many people remember him with a monocle even without being prompted. It's likely because they are confusing him with Mr. Peanut, who looks similar. To give possible explanations to the others, Berenstain is a more common spelling than Berenstain, so your brain is going on what makes more sense. Smokey is a bear, so it makes sense to put a "the" there. For both Tank Man and Nelson Mandela, there was plenty of coverage about other tragic events and news around those times, so it is possible people are mixing up events. Though Sinbad never played a genie, and the movie Shazam never existed, the movie Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal as a genie, did. Context clues like these, being used to fill in the gaps of the memory, is what causes large amounts of people to remember the same thing wrong. So, how can you tell if a memory is false? Well, there's not a real way to know this on your own. The best way to know is to confirm things with others or to look things up when you aren't sure. But don't fret if you find anything that wasn't as you remembered it. If there's anything you take away from this, just remember that this is normal. Everyone forgets or remembers things wrong to some extent. And it's just one of the ways your brain is trying to take care of you day to day. So now I'd like to ask, have you ever experienced this effect before? Let me know any stories you have.